GMS fan. Yo, what's happening, everybody? Roy, Lady Aries, Alma, Dixon, Cider, Black Man America. What's going on, man? Welcome to another episode of What the Fuck is Going On in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, you heard it here first. I am your host, Black GMS. What up? 3G's podcasting here. What's happening, AP? What's happening? Pac G, what's going on? Wonder Man, what's up? Sean Harris. So, as some of you may know, Minneapolis police been fucking up again. Surprise. On June 3rd, Minneapolis police took the life of Winston Smith. Winston Smith was 32 years old, a father of three, and he was very well known, not just around the city, but other places with his social media presence. He was an influencer on social media. You may have seen some of his videos online, maybe so, maybe, I don't know. But very funny dude. Story goes, he was on a date with a young lady. After they got done with their date, they went up. They got in the car and went, and they were on the top of the parking garage, and he was swarmed by a bunch of undercover police, unmarked cars, and before you know it, they let off multiple rounds inside the car and killed Winston Smith and injured the young lady who he was with. Man. As usual, excuse me, y'all. As usual, they changed the story multiple times. First, he was a murder suspect. Then they said he produced a gun. Both stories were proved to be false. Star Tribune actually had to put out an apology statement for reporting on what they reported about when it came to the murder of Winston Smith. Let me just read y'all. I'm going to read y'all what Minneapolis is reporting. Sheriffs deputized as federal agents ambushed and killed 32-year-old father of three, Winston Boogie Smith Jr. around 2 p.m. on June 3rd, 2021. Smith had just eaten lunch with a date when he was shot to death as he sat with her in his car at the top of the parking ramp in uptown Minneapolis after being swarmed by undercover officers. The brazen daylight killing has led to sustained protest with calls for transparency, accountability, and fallout within the federalized task force. Law enforcement claim Smith produced a gun and fired it, so they shot and killed him in his car. They later claimed that they found the gun in the glove compartment. The community claims Smith was unarmed and trying to go live on his phone when they shot him. Two sheriff's deputies shot Smith, according to police, one with Ramsey County and the other with Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. Witnesses report up to 15 gunshots fired. The sheriff's deputies were serving a deputized U.S. Marshals under the North Star Fugitive Task Force and claimed that no videos exist showing their actions during the deadly incident. The stories from the authorities have since changed and evolved, and on Thursday afternoon, June 10th, an attorney for the woman injured in the car said she never saw Smith with a gun that day. So, we have, and I'm going to pull this picture up so y'all can see. We have multiple unmarked vehicles. Multiple unmarked vehicles. And you can see the car that he was in right here. It took all of them to go after one man who they had to change the story on. If you got to change the story on motherfuckers, clearly this murder is not justified at all. And they fucked up because that young woman is still alive. See, if she wasn't alive, she wouldn't be able to tell her side of the story to let them know that she didn't see him with a gun that day. And then on top of that, for them to switch the story and say they found a gun in the glove compartment. For one, you found a gun in the glove compartment, which means he never brandished a gun or even shot a gun, period, to even get shot. So, let me just tell you this, man. Minneapolis police are at it again. They once again want to make people feel like we don't know what we talking about, like we just out here crazy, like people just out here protesting for no reason. That's the why so many cops? Exactly. That's the biggest question. Why do they always send so many cops for us? One person. If he had a warrant, there wouldn't. Why would there be a need? And then the thing is, when you see so many cops there, that gives you the first notion of why they would sit up there and tell us a lie and say he was a murder suspect when he never was. When it's confirmed that he was never a murder suspect to begin with. Authorities claim none of the dozen or so officers involved had body cameras on, and none of the unmarked vehicles have dash cam video of the killing of Smith. Why? Do y'all hear how crazy that sounds? Let me read it again. Authorities claim none of the dozen or so officers involved had body cameras, and none of the unmarked vehicles have dash cam video of the killing of Smith, who was on a date with a female companion at the time. Smith's date was treated at the scene for wounds from the glass shrapnel as the police sprayed bullets just inches away from her. So she didn't even get shot. Glass shrapnel. And why aren't body cams obligatory everywhere and anytime? I don't know. They definitely should be obligated to wear body cams at all times because of situations like this, but they don't. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which is the investigatory agency in this incident, stated on June 9th that they will not disclose the names of the deputies who killed Smith because they were working undercover. Officers at the incident taking part in the task force were from the Anoka, Hennepin, and Ramsey County Sheriff's Office, the Minnesota Department of Corrections, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, all led by the U.S. Marshals Service. It was in this statement that they mentioned they recovered a handgun as well as spent cartridge cases from inside the driver's compartment. Really. Smith's killing was further traumatized a grieving community still on edge after a recent string of deadly police interactions coming off of last summer's massive uprising triggered by the murder of George Floyd, rest in peace. This latest shooting has drawn comparisons to the evening sting operation at a Minneapolis gas station on December 30th, 2020, where police killed 23-year-old Dalal. I don't know how to say his last name, but in front of dozens of people. The deadly federal ambush also happened as city officials were having a press conference downtown about the city's attempt to reopen George Floyd Square earlier that morning. Furthermore, a mere 53 days before Smith's killing, an unarmed Dante Wright, as we talked about before, was murdered by police just 12 miles away, leading to intense clashes between protesters and police along widespread unrest and looting. Many in the community on social media are calling the killing an assassination. A website has popped up as Winston Smith was assassinated.com, and the hashtag Winston Smith was assassinated has circulated on Twitter and Instagram hundreds and thousands of times. Also, the misspelled Winston Smith was assassinated. Now, you guys, this doesn't end, because I don't know if anybody has heard what happened last night. We're going to get to what happened last night because something else tragic happened last night. I went to the scene where Winston was murdered this morning, because last night, as people were outside protesting and showing their love and support for the life and the justice that needs to be served for the murder of Winston Smith, somebody decided to speed damn near 100 miles per hour down a 25, 30 mile per hour road, smashed into a car, and killed a young lady named Deona Marie. This happened last night while they were out there protesting for another life that was taken. There's Instagram video that I will not post here or show here. You can look it up for yourself. But he rammed the car, which hit her, and she put the car there to stop just that. The lady who got hit by the speeding car was hit by her own car after he smashed into it, because she was the one who put her car in the middle of the road to stop something like that from happening while people were protesting on the street. Also, let's not forget that Winston Smith was murdered on June 3rd. So plenty of people already knew about what was going on this block. And even if you didn't, if you see a crowd of people, and you're driving, the first thing you're going to do is slow down, not speed up. And this person, Nicholas Krause, killed Deona Marie, who was out there protesting for the life of Winston Smith. What is it that triggers those type of people when it comes to protests, that they feel the need to literally ram their car into humans? Do you know what they were doing before this happened? They weren't out there screaming, breaking shit, looting shit. No, they were outside literally playing volleyball, playing red light, green light, and trying to have a good spirit behind their protests when it came to Winston, because for one, as I said before, Winston was a funny guy. He's an influencer of some sorts on the internet. He did skits, and him and another influencer out here, shout out to Steph Weezy, a good friend of his. They posted videos, and it was hilarious shit, and people gravitated towards that energy. So what they did was they were outside in his honor, spreading and continuing that good energy, that good vibe. And then all of a sudden, here comes a car driving way over the speed limit and rams into her vehicle, killing her. This is the guy right here, Nicholas Krause. So this is another thing. When I tell you they spin shit and they twist shit, after he hit her car, he tried to get out of his car and run away. They captured this motherfucker and put him in a headlock and literally held on to him, beat the hell out of him and held on to him till the cops came there. But you know what the story was? You know what the narrative was that they tried to push? Person hits car, hitting another woman, and was dragged out of his car and beaten by protesters. which is like the word, like I don't understand. Like we're in a world of technology. And on that street, which is Lake Street in Girard, this is uptown Minneapolis, one of the most lit places in Minneapolis. Uptown Minneapolis is like where people always go. There's always some shit going on in uptown. Cameras are everywhere. And it's crazy because there's been so many shootings in uptown over the past few years, and the fact that they got cameras everywhere to identify all this shit that's going on. But as soon as this happened, we ain't seen no camera footage, no nothing. The only footage that we have is from the people that were there that were involved in this, the other protesters. They have the videos of the aftermath. They're not going to, in the fact that people, of course, nobody saw it coming, so nobody had their camera out just filming the car as it blasted into the other car and hit her. So now it's up to the city to release some footage, get the footage from the street and show what actually happened. And if they don't, we're going to see another person get a slap on the wrist, just like the other dude from last year when protests were happening on 35W and a big-ass semi came blasting through. And this was a protest that was organized the day before. The highway was shut down. There was a permit. They shut it down. The city shut it down. The protesters didn't shut it down. The protest organizers didn't shut it down. The city shut it down because they asked to have a protest on 35W. And somehow the police that already had the highway barricaded off and was telling other cars to use the shoulder or go around, they were having cars literally do U-turns on exits that were coming on the off-ramp. And then all of a sudden, you see in the video, this is what I'm saying. There was video footage that was released by another company that had a camera out there because the city wasn't trying to release the camera footage of him blaring through. But a company that was there that supported what was going on had clear footage of how long it took him to come down the highway. It showed police literally moving out the way and letting a semi blare through. And only then was that when they actually charged him with something. I don't know what it is, but something tells me that these people are getting put up to this. And yes, he was smiling in his mugshot. The same person that was on the video in a headlock talking about, I didn't mean to. Because that's what he said in the video. Clearly he meant to, but he was trying to play stupid. I didn't mean to. And then gonna smile in your mugshot. He said he makes one move, I'm gonna break his neck. Exactly. And I saw a lot of those people out there, the same people out there today. Man, it's ridiculous. So now we have Nicholas David Krause, who I believe, just like anybody else who drives through a protest, they should be considered a domestic terrorist. They found his whole record, just like they do other brothers when they get killed by the police. They pull up their record to try to demonize them. I'm glad y'all start doing this to these people. Demonize them. Exactly the same, the exact demons that need to be demonized. The people that literally drive through a crowd knowing a crowd is there, killing people. This is what we need to do. They found out that he was out for domestic. Trust me, they got all his shit. I think he had another vehicle, something with his vehicle. There was something else that had to do with his vehicle. Either way, they found out everything. What you say? You said this, Dez? What up, Dez? Had to go ahead and get another white supremacist out of the room. They like to come. They like to come every once in a while and try to stir shit up, but I don't give them no attention. I just block their ass out. I was gonna tell JG to do it, but I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to give him the honors of letting me do it. But anyway, like I said, pull these motherfuckers' record up too. Yeah, and he said how he pull a gun when there was no gun recovered from the scene. Fucking clown. That's another thing they tried to report. They tried to report that they found a gun in the glove compartment. Then they tried to say that they found cases and all types of other shit. It never added up. It never added up. None of it ever added up. And then on top of that, see, they never know who it is they run up on and kill fully. They don't fully understand. They probably watched his social media, probably got on like, oh, we gonna get, but they didn't understand what would happen from it. Which I don't like. See, that's it. Something's not clicking in the police mind when they don't, and like, you got to understand. Something is going to happen when you jump the gun. Always. Always. When police jump the gun, there's going to be repercussions from it from the community. Fuck your higher ups. We already know they're not going to do nothing. We already know they're not going to do nothing. But there's always that shit. Like, I was just telling somebody earlier, I stopped reading stories on like how it happened. What up, Casino? I stopped reading stories on how it happened because of the simple fact that it doesn't matter anymore. They doing this on purpose. They doing it on purpose. They thought they was home free with no body cams on. Yeah, that's why I said they messed up, because that girl was supposed to die too. And the fact that she didn't and she's able to be alive and tell her story, that's that's a problem for them. And it's going to be a clear problem for them when she's able to tell her story on that stand. What up, Anthony M? Casino in this motherfucker. Should always come back full circle eventually. Yeah, and then like, it's just even more fucked up that it's like it keeps happening this way. It keeps happening in the same way, and people still don't understand it. People still won't get it. People still have to question or try to justify a murder when people literally don't have to get murdered. There's one example to be used in all of this. If you can take a literal mass shooter into custody, there are no excuses. There are no excuses for anyone else. None. If you know how to de-escalate somebody who wanted to just shoot random people to shoot them and get them to and arrest them without shooting them, even though they have been the ones out here actually literally actively shooting and killing individuals, then don't run up on somebody that look like me just because they have a record or just because they have a warrant and feel the need to execute us. Yeah, this is another recent shooting. Winston Smith was killed on June 3rd. And then last night, while there was an active protest going on, somebody rammed through, hit a car, which hit a young lady named Deona Marie, and she was killed on the scene. I went out there this morning, early afternoon, and I was sitting there, watching, just kind of just feeling out the energy, and it was messed up because people already like are out there grieving. You know what I'm saying? People are already grieving a loss, and then you have another tragic, like traumatic instance happen. And then let me say this too. The people that were there that night, like, you got to understand how traumatizing that is. These are a lot of young folks. They literally seen somebody get rammed by a car and killed in front of their face. Then they had to deal with the response, because when they called the police or when they called the ambulance to get there, they were met with police presence, police in riot gear, in mace, trying to go at the people, telling them, hey, there's a girl over there who is literally dying from getting hit by a vehicle. And the police was out there with riot gear and ready to be on the defense instead of trying to help somebody. Probably looking at the spray paint saying, fuck 12, kill police, and all that other stuff that was written on the walls in spray paint. And was like, yeah, fuck them. Which is the most pussy shit you can do as a person who was sworn in as a person to protect and serve. Doesn't matter what words are being used. You're here to protect and serve. I don't give a fuck if somebody said fuck you and your family and your dead granny. You are a police officer. You are here to do a job. You were trained to do your job. I'm pretty sure in your training they told you that words shouldn't matter. Or did they? The police backed white supremacists in the Tulsa massacre. Ain't nothing changed but the date. Exactly. JG said, so are there any black officers on the Minneapolis police force? They just sitting back and not saying shit? I'm confused. I've seen quite a few black police officers in Minneapolis, and honestly, they just kind of look stale-faced, to tell you the truth. Dad said, the police chief is my fucking cousin. Shit is embarrassing. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. He is. I forgot. Peace, fam. Thank you for covering this. Yeah, no, look. Hey, I couldn't help it because as I was there on the scene on Lake Street in Girard where Winston was killed and where Deona Marie was killed, as we were there, for one, another young black man got arrested on the scene for God knows what. Literally walked away for 10 minutes, and when I came back, dude was gone. They were like, yeah, the police came and arrested him. Quick as fuck. For I don't know what the hell for. And then, you know, as we were sitting there, Deona Marie's mother and her father pulled up. And her mom was walking around greeting people and, you know, telling them, hi, I'm, you know, Deona's mother. And when she got up to me, she just like had this look on her face. And I was just like, yeah, I got to hug you. And as soon as I was like, I got to hug you, she just broke down crying. And I gave her a hug, and, you know, I just let her know she was strong, and she was just sitting there crying. And I was just like, yo, I cannot imagine that, bro. And you're sitting right next to where she was murdered. She probably saw the video. If anybody saw the video of what happened, I can't imagine seeing some shit like that involving my child. That is going to be some shit that is going to stick in her mind forever. Her dad too. And then of course, you know, the press was there and people were trying to, you know, get the interviews and talk to them, and, you know, but it's just like, it was a very, very, very sad moment. The energy was just weird, and it was just, man, you know, rest in peace to Winston Smith, man. Rest in peace to Deona Marie. I'm glad I got a chance to meet your mother. She seemed like a sweet lady. A lot of her friends and family showed up to pay their respects and drop off flowers where she last, you know, laid and took her last breath. And the thing is, like, the community is still strong here as far as people, you know, trying to stand together. It's just, it's so much now to the point where people are just like, man, like, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to continue to keep gathering? Because honestly, what is working? They continue to keep doing the same shit. What's working? We don't know what's supposed to work. We don't know a solution to anything. We are out here protesting and setting up to be outside all day to let people know. But it's like, yo, people know, man. Nobody else is. I don't think anybody's oblivious anymore. I think now people are on a side. You either understand and want to, help do something about it or help try to make a change, or you just don't give a shit. We are in the era of people that should know. Like, everything is accessible to people. The internet, history, all that is accessible to people. And on top of that, even if you're not even searching to look up history or anything like that, it's right in front of your face whenever you open your social media, whatever's trending that day. And there's no way. Let's just say up until 2020, there was still a lot of oblivious ass stupid people out there that didn't understand anything that had to do with race, black people, the police, trauma, all that shit. After 2020, after George Floyd shit happened, there's no way that nobody in this country doesn't know what's going on. There's no way. Because that was a worldwide protest. It wasn't just us in Minneapolis. It wasn't just scattered states and cities. It was the entire country of the U.S. In every state there was a protest, and as well as other places across the seas in other countries, other continents. People were protesting for George Floyd. People aren't oblivious to this shit. They either give a fuck or they don't. And when I grew to understand that, that's when I started treating motherfuckers different. That's when I stopped wanting to make or try to, make white people feel comfortable. I was done doing that because I'm like, yo, you aren't dumb. You aren't oblivious. You just don't care to learn or give a fuck to understand. So I'm just gonna move around, do my own thing, and I'm gonna speak my truth. I'm gonna say what's on my mind, and I'm not gonna hide or try to protect you from my blackness. Fuck you. Anthony M said, ultimately, it feels like black folks are on their own. Yeah. Casino said, GMS, what about the other young brother they killed in Minnesota back in April? What's the status on that case? We don't know yet. I'm pretty sure the officer that was the one that said she had a taser and ended up actually killing him, I believe she's in jail, or maybe she bonded out. I don't know. But as far as I know, she's locked up at the moment. Anthony M said, at the same time, they are erasing our history, our accomplishments, while absorbing our culture and destroying our bodies all at the same time. On some undercover brother shit. The man. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a worldwide instance when it came to so now we have, once again, like we said, when George Floyd got justice, people were happy, people felt joy, but we knew that wasn't it. We knew it wasn't over. We knew it was still a long fight ahead of us. We knew that this was going to happen sooner or later, and motherfucker, it did. As soon as Dante Wright situation happened during the George Floyd that happened before they came to a verdict. Police don't give a fuck, man. We couldn't even get the chance to get a verdict for the George Floyd case before police decided to murder somebody else. So you can tell that the city's on edge. Minneapolis is not going to be the same. There's always going to be something like the relation now the relationship, that's the thing. The relationship between the community, the black community specifically, and police has always been messed up. But this right here is going to make it damn near impossible for us to trust them at all, especially how they acting now. A lot of people, that's like it's funny because the excuses come. Like I said, the people that don't want to understand or don't care to understand are the same ones sitting over there trying to talk about how it's dumb to defund the police and talk about abolishing the police as if that shit is in place and in power and in rule right now. Like, that shit is actually happening when it's not. Like, nobody's paying attention to the fact that a bunch of police officers are just quitting the force and being like, yeah, fuck y'all. When they haven't been defunded, which means they not losing no money. They haven't been prosecuted. They aren't randomly getting ran up on and shot at. They just got to deal with the fact that people hate them. This is what I'm saying. If you a sensitive ass motherfucker, do not join the police task force. Also, if you used to get bullied and motherfuckers used to take your bitch back in the day, don't become a police officer. If you used to get called names, whatever the case may be, if motherfuckers used to walk up to you and flick you in the back of the head, don't become a police officer. We already know your intentions. You're going to see the person that used to bully you in everybody's face. That's only one type of officer. Then you have the other officer who grew up in a household where his parents didn't like black people. So they turned that and passed that ideology down to him, to where he's afraid to interact with black people on a regular basis. But when he has on that badge and he has a gun, he believes, yes, now I'm protected from these animals. And that's how they view you, and that's how they treat you. That is a simple fact. And I'm tired of that shit, man. Which is another reason why I'm saying I'm not gonna continue to sit here and try to make those type of people feel comfortable anymore. Because that's how we've been conditioned over the years, is to make white people feel comfortable, because basically they can't, come to terms with the bullshit that their ancestors did to us. They can't accept it. They can't take accountability, even though it's like a must. It's a must. You can't even give people the common courtesy of taking on the accountability of what your ancestors did to our ancestors. So you deflect and you say other dumb shit and you try to justify murder and you try to talk about how racism isn't real, but there's a chapter of the KKK in every motherfucking state in America. Come on now. Dad said that's good. Now if they get recognized, they can get their ass beat like a regular civilian. Exactly. Barry said, I 100% agree. Cops should just quit. It makes crime skyrocket, but at least we don't have to worry about being murdered by cops. Listen, people think that we need to get rid of the police completely. No, we need to get rid of the people in power. We need to get rid of the entire system and rebuild it with people that actually give a shit about the community. And then people talk about crime skyrocket. Crime is crime. Do you think people that are doing crime give a fuck about the police? Clearly not, which is crazy, because like that whole crime skyrocketing and whatever the case may be, bruh, crime is the same as it always has been. It's going to continue to be crime every single fucking day, because people clearly don't give a fuck about police. So why are we even talking? Like, that's it. Oh, if you defund the police, crime is going to skyrocket. Bruh, crime is already at an all-time high, and the police have not been defunded or abolished. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. That shit is crazy. That's like, if people so fucking, that's another thing. Why are people so scared of white people are scared of phrases. And I don't understand that. Like, Black Lives Matter, they're scared of that phrase. Defund the police, they're scared of that phrase. Abolish the police, they're terrified of that phrase. But hearing about police killing people for no reason doesn't scare them at all. I wonder why, because it's not them who they are being targeted. Crazy how that works, huh? Crazy how when you don't have to feel the fear and the anxiety of being pulled over by the police or even just passing by the police, you're so easy for motherfuckers to have an opinion on a situation they'll never understand or go through in their life. The privilege to speak on some shit you don't know about. That's like me walking up to somebody random and just start telling them, look, man, I don't know what's going on with you in your home, but I see that you're walking out every day with bruises and it looks like you're getting abused. Let me tell you something. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps, sir. Do something about that. Who cares if your dad is beating your ass? Huh? Pick yourself up, my guy. Come on. You sound crazy. Police always commit crimes because they have on a badge and they're able to do it. We got to redo the system, kind of like in college football, a rebuilding season. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's enough people out there who want to make a change. And if there's so many good cops, they should be the ones pushing for police reform, right? Right? Like, I'm done hearing about the good cop narrative because not once have I seen a good cop start the push for reform. We're not even talking about defunding or abolishing. We're talking about reform. Just reform these motherfuckers. When have we seen a quote unquote good cop push for police reform? Give me an example. Let's go find that motherfucker if it exists so that we can help push them and help them encourage other officers around this country to do the same. Please give me an example of who that is. If there is not one, then miss me with the good cop narrative. Defund the police is a misnomer. Is that how you say that word, Professor? What it really means is to redirect funds into other services that communities need, mental health services, etc. Yeah, exactly. This phrase is used as something the racist right can grab into, like critical race theory, fake outrage. Wow. That's why I'm glad we got a professor in the chat. You can't reform racism. No, you cannot. I agree. Until I see a good cop appear, they all dirty to me. Now I've seen some cops who go on social media and be like, what happened to George Floyd was wrong. Okay, that's cool. Make a TikTok, my guy. Let people know you're one of the good ones. But who are you in your actual where you work at, trying to push some type of reform, try to push better policing, trying to evaluate everyone in your precinct to try and get the right people in and the wrong people out? Or are you just on TikTok trying to get views for being a good cop? Look, they can, and that's another thing. You can diversify the race of police in whatever. As long as there is that blue code of silence. They don't care how many different races they employ on the police as long as they can keep their power in place. These people know what they're doing. They know what they can get away with. They know who to keep in positions of power so that they can continue to do the fuck shit that they do. So you can have a black cop on the force. You can have an Asian cop on the force. Which is hilarious because those three components, a white, black, and Asian cop, were all involved with the George Floyd situation. They're a gang. And it's not even so, and that's another thing, it's not even so much about racism with the police. Of course, there are racist police on the force. But see, what I realized over the years that it's a very, very, very prominent component of a power trip that they have in their brains. They feel like they can literally do anything because they have a badge and a utility belt with a gun on it. And they will abuse their power and they will kill people and find excuses for it and get away with it. They are a gang. The most powerful gang in the world is police, period. Police. Trauma said these people know everything about us, and this is why they know what to put up on TV or the internet to get us to mobilize and spend money, boycott, etc. The problem is we aren't organized anymore. We do need to start organizing our own shit and stop really letting the media trigger us, because that's what they are. They use trigger tactics. Even if it seems like the media, that specific media outlet, is for you, they still use trigger tactics to get people to be in that mind state. Mobilization is temporary, like BLM organization is permanent, like the Panthers. Hey, I hear that. I assume all NYPD are on some nefarious shit. Yeah. DP said, when white people really want to change something, they know exactly how to do it, and it doesn't involve peaceful civil action. They go all out. So as long as anyone is talking, it's insincere. Anthony said, true. I spoke to a black officer featured on the news for speaking out, but when I reached out to interview him for a piece I was doing on the police, he said no, that he didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah, there was, okay, so there's a black officer who did do the TikTok thing, and I think there's certain guidelines when you are a police officer, which is crazy because, like, they'll change the rules or, like, update the rules when it comes to, like, how they can protect themselves as a collective, like the police as a collective, but they won't change no rules to try to reform policing. So they'll adapt to social media. Like, yo, they'll put in your shit that you can't say certain shit or you can't post certain shit being a police officer on social media. So one black officer who, after the George Floyd incident happened, I think he was rapping or something like that, and he must have put a TikTok out or something went viral on the internet of him talking about the situation. He got fired. He is no longer a police officer anymore. I forgot his name. If somebody knows who I'm talking about, please put the name up. But he's no longer a police officer anymore because of the fact that he opened his mouth and I guess said too much. As a black man looking at what's happening out here in the country, he said too much when it came to his own people and he got fired. Nothing he said in that video was wrong. It's just that it went against their new rules, even though they can't reform their own precinct, their own team of murderous gang members. Black Man America said police should get interrogated in a lie detector test for hatred and racism before they can go out in the community. If they really care about this problem, bet half the force would retire early. You know that'll never happen because the people in charge are mostly of that skin complexion, the complexion for the protection of the collection. Rest in peace to Paul Mooney. DP said even that Bible they love says greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Moral of the story: black people have no friends. Nope. All we can say is that we have allies. Thank you guys for going out there and protesting and marching, but it's not going to stop this from happening. It's definitely not. And then we have the situation where a young white woman is killed and she's out there protesting and out there for the sake of a young black man who was killed by police. She was repping Black Lives Matter. She wanted to show her support and let people know that it's wrong. That's what's happening. And she's one of the people who understands that it's wrong and that she won't stand for another human being being treated less than. Someone who understood their privilege, who used their privilege to combat racism and put her life on the line. At that point, that's when you can say right there in that instance that you don't see her as a white woman. You saw her as an ally and somebody who gave a fuck. A lot of them motherfuckers ain't about to put their life on the line for us. She put her car in the middle of the street to protect other black lives, gave her life to protect other black lives. That woman right there will forever have my respect and love, and I had no idea who she was. The fact that you put your life on the line to protect other black lives and wasn't just out there saying Black Lives Matter for a photo op or putting on a t-shirt for a photo op or just to look cool in front of your black counterparts or just because you like black people. It's deeper than that. She went the extra mile to try to make sure that no more black lives were senselessly taken away from this earth. And she risked her own life for that. Deona Marie, thank you. Love you, respect, rest in peace. Much love to your mom, much love to your dad. I pray for them, your family, your friends, your loved ones. I hope y'all find justice as well. Winston Smith, young black man, 3 kids, young, 32 years old, had a lot going for him. The city loved him. The city respected him. There was no reason why that man should have lost his life that day. He should be out here right now providing for his kids like he was. But that got taken away from him because of the simple fact that the police don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. We are letting they are the animals. You talk about protesters, you talk about people looting. The police are the animals. They are just uniformed. Come on, man. It'll never make sense to me, man. It'll never make sense to me. How are people that look like me still to this day demonized the way that we are? It's so easy. It's such an easy cop-out to be like, do you see what's happening in the hood, man? Do you see the black on black crime? Bro, there are still mass shooting terrorists living amongst us. They knew that. But still, I don't understand, man. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. I can't look, man. There has to be a way to not just get a message across, but actually create some type of change without us having to repeat ourselves so many fucking times. Perfect example. Teodora NYC said, protesting and marching does not work. The race soldiers only care about blood and revenue. Sad but true. Casino Gotti said, and may the brother rest in peace also. Yes, for a fact. The racists see everyone as black if you're helping a black cause. They say when you're angry, all you see is red. Nah, all they see is black. That's a fact. Another troll. Is that why his comments are deleted? Prison Mike. Let the trolls come through. That's what they do. That's what they do. They see these that's what's funny, because like we talk about a whole bunch of different topics, and it only, like, this is what I mean. White people get so triggered when it comes to black issues. This is what makes them pop out and make troll accounts, because they can't do it. They can't do it like on a regular account with their actual name, because then they'll be put out to the public. And then any black people that they know or are surrounded by will inevitably give them hell. It's a protection thing. This is how they get protected. They have to make other accounts. They have to go on and say stupid shit online. And then they have to feel like, yes, I'm accomplished. Like I'm hidden from the world and I'm saying a whole bunch of stupid shit because I'm white. Like that's I don't understand. It's just I mean, it's a mental illness, man. I hope they figure that shit out on their own. Black man said the police are the biggest gang in the game. The only gang that can legally shoot all the other gangs and arrest them. Exactly. Which is crazy because if you know the history of gangs were created for that very reason, because of how police were treating the black community, because of how they were brutalizing the black community, killing the black community. The same people that take off that white hood and white robe with the red sign on it, with the red patch, and immediately put on their cop uniform, those same people back in those days, that's why gangs were created. They were originally created to protect the streets, to protect our own. And then once they start making the laws against the gangs, and once they start, pinning other people against each other, and then shit went to hell. DP said at some point, black people are going to have to come to terms with the fact that we've let things get so bad that they only think that the only thing that will solve this is physical smoke. Power only concedes to power. Yeah, why do you think we always go to war with motherfuckers who literally can't go to war with us? Why do you think America constantly goes to war? It's crazy. Like people, this is how delusional racist white supremacy is. Motherfuckers be so for war. Support the troops. You gotta enlist. Made the Air Force and all types of anything that had to do with the Army or enlisting in something that will serve our country. They made it look cool as shit. They got the fucking white dudes with the tattoos and buff and shit trying to fly airplanes and fighter jets and fucking big ass machine guns and shit, blasting them. Do you want to join the Army? Got all this shit, and they uplift all this shit, and every time we go to war, it's always like, yeah, America's gonna go to war and we're gonna kill all those motherfuckers. But as soon as black people raise their voices and want to protest, and then you see motherfuckers in the streets looting, all of a sudden it's, oh my God, the violence. Oh my God. Man, kiss my black ass. These motherfuckers love violence. They love death. They love murder. This is what they do for a living. This is how they get their point across. This is how they take over whole continents. They invade shit. They kill. They pillage. They rape. They do all that shit. The most vicious motherfuckers alive, yet we can't raise our voices because we are concerned with our own people. That motherfuckers will sit here and act like we so violent and that we so this and that. Come on, man. I'm not with it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I'm not here for it. You're not finna fool me. Anthony said, imagine if brothers said we not shooting each other, we gonna unite and work together. Imagine if we cut the world off from our genius and culture. Imagine if we invested in Africa and started building, buying land. Yeah, that's a dream that'll probably never come true. The deep conditioning within ourselves, the trauma that has not been faced or confronted within ourselves, those are things that have to happen first before we ever get to that point. Instead, we don't work together as a collective. This isn't how whites, Arabs, Asians, Latinos move. We need to start moving together. Yes, we do. Y'all are rocking and rolling in the chat tonight. Yes, sir. The chat is on fire, man. This is why, like I said, man, chat, this is why I fuck with y'all so heavy, man. This is why I love chat so much, because y'all have so much good insight. Y'all just ain't here listening and just dumb-faced. Y'all actually say some real shit, and I value y'all shit, the shit that y'all say. That's why I read damn near every single last comment, because y'all help me as well. They believe the law is right no matter what. That's insanity. Exactly. DP, that's just how they get down. If you watch any period pieces like Vikings, whenever they discover a new land, they never try to approach people peacefully. Never. Never. Who stop hurting white people? I already got him out of here. Sean says, when another country does the same thing, we go, it's we gotta stop them. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, we'll do some shit to a country, and then like some years later, that country will want to come back and do something to us and be like, oh my God, they want to try to hurt us. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's a fact. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to go to Africa. Who knows? Who knows? Evan Frost. Hey, yo, my guy. So earlier when I was over there off Lake Street in Girard, I got approached by a young man who turns out we went to high school together, and he's a journalist now for hold on, let me read this off so y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, his name, you see that name down there, Evan Frost? He is a journalist for NPR News. NPR News is breaking news and award-winning coverage of Minnesota from NPR News. Support our work. You can go and find them on Twitter right now. They have approximately 279K followers. And my guy is out here doing his due diligence. And when I went and actually did some of my homework earlier today, I see that my man has actually been out here for a minute doing his due diligence. So he's another ally with the cause, and is out here trying to spread the right messages and give the right narratives out so that people will stop getting the false ones. So shout out to Evan, man. Y'all give Evan a shout out right now. Say what's up to Evan. He is now a part of the GMS family. I'm gonna be looking for that picture soon, my guy. Theodora said, my family built this country, not going to another continent. Exactly. That's another thing. Yeah, y'all forced us to build this country. Y'all gonna have to deal with us and everything that comes with it. Everything that comes with it. And that's just basically what it is, man. So, once again, like I said, rest in peace to Winston Smith. Rest in peace to Deona Marie. 2 lives that were taken way too soon. 2 people that should still be here today. Very tragic ending, man. And this shit like this isn't gonna end anytime soon. But we know that as long as we continue to push, continue to try to find solutions, that we'll be out here trying to make the right changes and the changes necessary to continue to live and thrive out here without having to worry about our lives being taken as a joke. When we say Black Lives Matter, we mean our lives matter. Simple. It's so fucking simple. They've made it so complicated over the years. A phrase that is extremely simple. I mean, you can't get more blunt and more blatant and more like just direct than that. Black Lives Matter. It's just that simple, man. And there's no underlying, there's no other meaning towards it. There's no hidden message, hidden agenda. It's literally what it is and what it says. And for some reason, people have a problem with that. But we're not surprised. But like I said, our people are very resilient. Our people are very powerful. Our people aren't a giving up ass people. We will continue to fight and continue to do what we need to do to make this shit work. And to find the progress and to find the peace that we so much deserve in this country. We deserve way more respect, more love, more care. All of the above. And we gonna get it, man. One day, if it's not this generation and the next, it's gonna be. Trust me. So now, GMS fam, y'all know what time it is. Put the GMS in the chat right now. Anybody that's watching this stream, this live show right now, do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell so that you get the notifications for when I go live. GMS family, put the GMS in the chat. I'm going to shout out everybody who participated today in this chat. And if you also have not posted anything in the chat, just put GMS in the chat right now, and I'm going to shout your name out when I get to the bottom. Like I said, man, rest in peace, Winston Smith. Rest in peace, Deona Marie. Y'all will be sorely missed. Thank y'all for y'all contributions to life. Y'all will not, your names, your lives will not go in vain as long as we are here. Let's go. Let me see them GMSs. Put them GMSs in the chat. Shout out to Roy. Shout out to Lady Aries. Shout out to Alma Dixon Cider. Black Man America. 3G's Podcast. AP Pac G. What's happening? Wonder Man. Sean Harris. G Hill. T Fam 1. Obsidian. JG. The Longboard All Day, aka my nigga Dez. Casino Gotti. Anthony M. the Professor. Tehadora NYC. Habitual Pull-Uppers. Habitual Pull-Uppers. Shout out to Barry. Shout out to DP. Shout out to Trauma. Shout out to Kid at Heart. You weren't that late today, my nigga. Shout out to you. Hey, did I get Sean Harris? Did I call Sean Harris out? Shout out to Evan Frost. Hey. Krista. Oh, we got Krista. We got that fine mamacita in the building. Okay, I see you. What up, J Lava? What's happening? That's a new name in this motherfucker. What's happening? Yes, sir. I was just about to go too crazy for a second when I seen that name in here, but I ain't gonna go too hard. I ain't gonna say too much. But you know what I'm talking about, mommy. You know what I see. You know I see you. You know I see you, tita. You know I see you. Okay. Hey y'all, GMS fam. One love, man. I'm gonna see y'all soon. We gonna be back for another episode Wednesday. I'm gonna be in Colorado. That's right, yo. Hey. I'm gonna be in Denver. You know what I'm saying? A nigga finna be in Denver, Colorado, fam. You feel me? Jump to hyperspace. What's happening, fam? Hey, listen. Hey, I'm gonna be in Denver, fam. So just let y'all know if you wanna help a nigga out, you know what I'm saying? Get higher. You feel me? Get a little higher. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm pointing at? You see what I'm pointing at, cuz? I'm finna be in Denver, nigga. All right, y'all. GMS fam. I'm out. One love.